So here we are, back at Mixdown Creative HQ. What are we looking at today?
Today, Dan,
Yeah.
we are looking at, from Plugin Alliance, the Brainworx Elysia Alpha Compressor.
Isn't that a film with Brad Pitt?
Could be.
Or is that Elysium? You're supposed to know that. You're the film buff.
Elysium with Matt Damon, I
That's-
think, is what you're talking about.
What was the one with Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt.
Anyway, let's find out if the Elysium is... Said if it's... I wonder if we should... Yeah, it's hard to say if it's... Find out if it's shit.
If
Is
it's-
it shit?
If it's shit.
Anyway, take us through it. There's lots of knobs in this studio and on the plug-in, so this is obviously going to take some time. I shall get comfortable.
I don't blame you. So, the Elysia Alpha Compressor is a piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
The piece of hardware costs around about £11,500.
Crikey.
Yeah, it's not cheap, and it's it costs such a lot of money because every single component is premium, absolutely no expense spared on any single part of it. If ever you've seen one in real life, it just the feel of it, every single bit of it is so chunky and well made. It's incredible, but internally all the components are like class A, double A. It's incredible. But at the end of the day, it's just a compressor. So let's find out whether the plugin is worth what they're charging for that.
Let's.
So, like any compressor, it's got all the usual controls. It's a slightly different layout, so it looks quite complicated. Basically, you've got left and right, so they're duplicated. You can run it in mid-side, in which case the left side becomes mid, the right side is your sides. Top left, which is also mirrored over there, we have got threshold, regular threshold control. You've then got a little switch which is feed forward, so it's a feedback compressor unless you press that, and then it becomes a feed forward compressor. They're slightly different. Can you remember how a feedback compressor works, Dan?
Yes.
We're ready. So a feed forward compressor, things
It's
go
about-
through the
it's a
compressor
loop,
and they
isn't
come
it?
out. Yeah, it creates
Yeah.
a loop. So
Yeah.
if the compressed signal goes back in, it's compressed again each time you drive up the compression, basically. It's a slightly different sound. We've got an attack control there. We've then got a release control. There is an auto fast button for either the attack or the release. You've then got your ratio control. Then coming down, we have got what they call the Nivu filter. So it's basically a simple EQ. You've got an on button there. You've got your gain, and then you've got your frequency setting there. It basically just gives you the chance to stick a bit of extra EQ or take it away at a particular frequency. It's a nice little feature to have. You've then got your side chain.
Why is that a nice feature to have? Why not take that off and make it $9,000?
Because if you're going to spend 9, you might as well spend 11.
Okay.
You
You
know.
have a $2,000 full EQ.
You could, yeah. I'm just going to carry on.
Yes. Sorry.
There's a times 10 button there. So like if you're pushing 100k and you times 10, you get you get 10k. So it's relatively flexible for a simple EQ. You've then got your side chain, you've got your frequency, and you've got your gain for the side chain. You can turn it on or off. It's obviously useful to be able to push in a certain frequency to trigger the compressor more. You've then got your mix control. You can have the direct button in, or if it's not, you can have a percentage. It's just wet dry. It says compressed or direct on there, which is a bit confusing, but it's just wet or dry. You've then got your gain, which is your output, and then there's a warm button. Again, it's just a slightly different sound on the output. You've then got a soft clip, which is quite a nice thing to have on a compressor because quite often you run into a clipper next. Well, this has one in it. It's a soft clip. You can turn it on and you can drive it more or less. That's kind of it for controls. They're mirrored on the other side. You've got channel link, so left and right it will set the same if you want it to. Obviously, if you go into mid-side mode, then you're setting them separately. That's kind of it. The meters around the outside of the logo, they look pretty classy. They're
They
kind
do
of
look
nice.
good. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. That's kind of it for...
Does the Elysia light up?
well, it's a plug-in on a monitor, so yes, it's lit up by
No,
default.
it's in. All right. Okay.
Yeah, on the hardware it does, yeah.
I can't bear it when you're in moods like this.
What kind of a mood am I in?
I'll just carry on, shall I? Yes, it does light up because it's on a monitor.
Oh, dear.
So
Been a long day, hasn't
yes, it's been a long day. Yeah. So it's Plugin Alliance, so we know that that's a 14-day demo.
It is a 14-day demo, yeah.
Good. We also know that you're going to give us some astronomical usual price. It'll be on sale now, and then at some point in the not too distant future, it'll be $29.99.
I mean, you're sort of half right. It's not on sale now.
No.
And the regular price, I think, is a relatively reasonable $125.
Okay.
It's a bit pokey, but
If
the hardware's £11,500.
they will sell some, won't they? At that.
There's
People
a
are going
couple
to
of
want
things.
this.
There's a couple of things I'm going to say. One, it's not new. This has been out for quite a few years.
Right.
We've just never got around to doing it, and I thought we should. It badly needs an update. It can't be scaled. It is almost, because of the density of the controls, you can't get it big enough that I can read them on the screen. It just won't go that big.
Right.
So this on my screen here is blown up because it's a JPEG, so I can see it.
Okay.
But on the monitor, it's too small to see what you're doing. They need to make a scalable version.
Yeah.
They could do with adding a few extras, I think.
Like, what would you add?
Well, I like you said, the EQ could be a bit more interesting. They could do that on the plugin because it doesn't have to be the same as the hardware. They could make it a little bit more interesting on that front. However, sound-wise, it's pretty cool. It's very. See, this is a slight problem for me with the Alpha compressor. It's very good in that it can apply just the right amount of compression without really any artifacts.
Quite transparent.
Yeah, which I understand is a very good thing sometimes. But I kind of like to hear when something's compressing.
Yeah.
And it's quite disconcerting looking at the meters sometimes because you're thinking, oh, I'm squashing that. And it doesn't sound particularly squashed.
Yep.
But that said, it's I think for that kind of money, if you're mastering in the box, it would be a very cool plugin to have for that. I don't think it's suitable for a mix bus. It's just over the top and it's not giving enough of a glue sound.
Yep.
It's not that. It's a mastering compressor, I think.
Okay. So, Sean.
Yes.
Is the
Elysia
Brainworx
Alpha.
Alpha compressor shit?
No, it's not, but it does need an update.
It does need
I think
an
that's
update.
probably why it's relatively cheap at the moment. Hopefully they're working on that. I think it's one of those that if they brought a scalable version with a few extra bits, I think people would buy it all over again, even if they already had it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff, people. Please don't forget to like our video.
That would be cool, and maybe subscribe to the channel and become a channel member.
Go and check out the Instagram, Studio Life 101.
There's also our top 5 plugins, and there's a mastering course, a mixing course, and at the moment a free compression course.
We've got this all on the website. There are a load of links down below. Go and have a clickety-click and a clackety-clack. And
if you feel like watching a channel where we don't talk about music at all, there is one of those two. Link is below.
There you go. What more could you ask for, people? Sayonara, suckers.
Adios.